Okay. All right. It should be okay. I checked the audio this time. Can I get a coffee sip, please? I can do it. Actually, hold on. Ready?
Why is it so airy?
That's because my coffee's almost done. Anyways,
Oh,
we're back on time. On time this week.
are
Um,
we on time? Yeah, I guess we are.
we are on time this week. I have Mark here,
Hello.
and this time we did say we would eventually bring guests onto the podcast. So we have our first guest. This is Hassan. Say hi, Hassan.
Hello.
So Hassan has been in the tsunami community for quite a bit. He was here since our humble beginnings. But why don't we start off with learning a little bit more about him, Hassan? Why don't you tell us a little bit more about you?
Oh my god, I'm not that interesting. My name's Hassan.
No.
I like pandas. I'll say that. I have like
Nice.
this weird thing with pandas.
That's cool.
Do you want us to give you questions to maybe like help you with this?
Yeah, let's dive into
Sure.
a little
That
bit more
probably
about
helps a little bit more.
Let's talk about your volleyball background. What position do you play on the court?
Usually left, but I like libbing if there is an opportunity to do it. And then I'll set if there's like no setter.
Yeah,
I like setting.
I've seen you lib a lot recently. That's kind of been your new thing, which I really appreciate because not a lot of people just want to only pass. So that I can
Honestly, like
appreciate
a
about you.
dig is like more cool looking than a hit sometimes.
I agree. This is why Nishinoya is my favorite character in Haikyuu.
Same.
How long have you been playing
Nice.
volleyball, Hassan?
I played in high school for 2 years. I was on the senior boys volleyball team, but I was bench. I was like backup setter,
Yes.
and I was just there for the vibes, honestly, and the practice.
A fellow bench warmer.
But yeah, honestly, that's really helped. The practice, even though I wasn't playing much, the practice has helped like a lot for me to get back into it. I got back into it in August of last year of 2024.
Oh yeah,
So how long is that? Like 7 months now?
almost.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hassan has been to our tournaments before. We see him almost every week at our drop-ins. He's also a regular host for javelin volleyball as well. But we're hoping to poach him over and have him be a host for Tsunami.
Javelin
Whenever he's
host is
ready.
not a flex.
I think there's a lot that goes into being a good host, like a good volleyball drop-in host.
Yeah,
I agree.
honestly, my games are sick. I think people would agree.
I agree.
I
like
bring the
your
music, I bring the good vibes, and I think I think I would be honest and say like they like my runs.
Yeah, overall good reviews. I like your runs. I like that you bring a speaker and you record and you try to make the runs a little bit more memorable than your average
Yeah.
drop-in host. So that was good. We did play a high rec drop-in with Hassan today. How did that go in your opinion?
First time being mic'd up, and it's honestly fun, but I'm just kind of worried of the expensive mics, so I might need to get a cheaper mic. I don't want to break it, but I know we all had reservations about the host.
Yeah. Okay. There's I guess things that could be said. I mean, and again, I think it's important to be involved with your players as a host.
Yeah.
And you're gonna get like a wide range of that, but you do what you can.
Yeah, you get what you can get. But so last week, we did a podcast about we went over this a lot, but in our previous episodes, but we talked about standardizing basically the whole like what classifies a rec player, what classifies an intermediate player, and stuff like that. And last week we went over a rubric. It's like like when you're in like your high school and then you get a rubric for an assignment, and you usually try to follow the rubric when you're doing the assignment so you can get as high of a mark as you possibly can. That's kind of what we did last week with the rubric, but instead of schoolwork, it's volleyball. And last week, me and Mark basically graded ourselves, and then we graded each other. And Hassan, I'm so sorry to have to do this to you. Surprise, surprise. We're gonna do the same thing to you.
My God, not being graded in volleyball.
But we actually found that the rubric was quite useful, right, Mark?
Yeah, so when we did it, it was weird because I guess it's not weird because I'm always like playing volleyball with her, but when we were grading each other, we managed to get the same score, like my self-report and then Jess reporting me. So like I guess there's like some sort of like standardization you can see there. Like I know um, I don't want to speak for you, but you're studying right now, right, Hassan?
Yeah, I'm in school doing my master's of counseling.
Yeah. So you study psychology, correct?
Yeah.
Nice. So like you know how in psychology, like it's really kind of hard to objectify like behaviors and anything that happens like cognitively, right? So you're always so I guess the same thing can be said for like volleyball. Like these things are very subjective, so we're just trying to find a way to like turn those I guess behaviors or actions and techniques to and turn them into something that's quantifiable.
Mm-hmm. That's the goal. So we basically have the rubric from last week here, and what we're gonna do is we're not gonna like read it top to bottom because we did that last week, but we are going to quickly go over it and make some edits to make it a little bit more modernized. Because I remember one of the points that I had last week was that the rubric was a little outdated. And then from there, we're going to grade as we go. I think is what we'll do is we'll go over each category.
Yeah.
We'll make the changes that we want to make to each of the category or each of the grading points, and then we'll each pick a number for Hassan, and then at the end we're gonna total everything up, and then we're gonna review it. And then this is like, Hassan's self-reflection. He can he can take this and think about how can I be a better volleyball player.
Okay, before we get into that, how confident or how accurate do you feel you can report these? I guess um, what would you even call them? Like actions, techniques, or whatever. Like, how well do you feel like you can report these things yourself?
I feel like I'm pretty accurate. Like I kind of downplay myself sometimes. I also sometimes hype myself up more than I need to. So I think I have the right balance to be able to like know where I'm at.
Fair,
Yeah,
fair.
yeah.
I think it's like I think it's just excuse our dog. Um, I think that it's there's something to be said about downplaying it because then like you're 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 not acting like you're the best, but you're not like putting yourself out there and saying that you're the best at the same time. So it's like it's almost just like, oh, okay, like he's humble.
Mm-hmm. I will say there is a little bit of um, humility that comes with being a host.
That's what it is. Oh yeah, yeah.
Again, Hassan hosts a lot of volleyball drop-ins, so he's probably seen it all. He's probably seen players who are much better than him and players who are not as good as him. And sometimes with drop-ins, you have to make the decision to either tell a player like, "Hey, you're not really ready for this level." And so, Hassan, have you ever had to do that before?
Yeah, especially for intermediate. Like high rec, it's not that serious. I have done it for high rec, but I kind of like don't care as much. But yeah, intermediate, I have had to tell some people. I hate banning people on the app because like it's like 2 months for intermediate where they can't book,
Mm-hmm.
and I feel like you can get better in that time. So I just feel like I'd rather just tell them, message them, or like in person, be like, hey, like I think you need to work on this before you book before you're intermediate, and
Yeah.
instead of just getting a whole ban in the app. I feel like
Yeah.
that's bad for mental too.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
Very considerate of him.
Yeah, that is a very considerate thing. I think it is like a better way of doing it because then, like, I feel like a ban is so like
It's very like
I don't want to call it like
mean.
aggressive. Yeah, it feels mean. Like I know it's not meant to feel mean or anything, but like at the same time, it doesn't do much constructively for the player.
Mm-hmm.
It just tells them that they're bad,
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
you know. And that's kind
Mm.
of like a rough thing to hear, I think.
Yeah.
If you're just getting
Mm-hmm.
into it.
I think Hassan's not gonna have a problem. I think he'll probably know where he stands in terms of some of these points.
Yeah.
So I don't think he's gonna have a problem. Again, he's had to probably do this mentally for a bunch of the players that he's played with. So I
Yeah.
don't think he'll have a problem. But let's get into it. Do you want to start us off with the first topic, Mark?
Sure. Okay. So I shortened a lot of the because it was like rambling on and on and on. So I kind of just like broke it down into just a couple words, a few words per like skill, I guess, or technique. And then I added a couple things along the way, but we feel free to feel like, even you, Hassan, like if you feel like there's something that needs to be added to each like level, then feel free. We can talk about it. So there, it's separated into how many do we have? One, two, three, four, five,
Should be
six,
7.
7, 8. I added an extra one,
Oh, so
but
there's
we'll
8.
get there when we get there. Yes, there's 8.
Okay.
Excuse me. And then I changed the failure to introductory because it's like if you're just like trying the sport for the first time and you can't make contact, then it's like, oh, I'm learning the sport or being introduced to the sport. Um, okay, are you ready, Hassan?
So
Okay.
I'm nervous.
So you are going to do your. We're gonna go over it, and then we're gonna do the. You're gonna report yourself. Don't tell us. Wait until the end. And then we'll do the same thing, and we won't tell you, but we'll collect it all in the end. Okay. So forearm passing. We're gonna start with forearm passing. We're gonna start from introductory. No contact. Hassan, do you make contact?
I hope so.
Sometimes.
um. Okay. Needs improvement. Hands apart. Body upright. Uh, calling the ball and not using your legs.
Yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty.
yeah.
I'm gonna take the squeaky toy away. Hold on.
Oh, still is being a menace. Okay, developing. So this one kind of talks about how you are like kind of your balance is more behind you or to the back, or you're standing up straight and your elbows are not like straight. And the ball is playable, but it's like a tough ball to play, and you have some sort of control. Like you get the ball up if you're in developing. If you're proficient, you're in your athletic position, your weight's forward, your knees are bent so you're low. You're calling your ball and your hands are together, your arms are straight, you're passing to the target, and there's a lot of control. Well, I guess mostly you have like consistent control for proficiency, and then advanced is all of that, except it's just every time it's a great pass, nice and high, um, and you have a lot of control. You're always ready and stuff like that for advanced. So where, don't tell us, but where do you find yourself in this? And then Jess, you can also write down. I'm gonna be putting it on here.
Okay.
My
Okay.
imposter syndrome is coming through.
We haven't we have we talked about imposter syndrome on here? I don't think we
We
have.
haven't.
'Cause-
A lot of people don't actually know what that is, but I'll let you two
What-
discuss that since you guys are the psych majors.
Well, Hassan is the one that's becoming um a professional in his field.
Mm.
What's imposter syndrome, Hassan?
Basically, just feeling like you don't belong or you don't not good enough to have fit in with the people that you're playing with. In this case,
Oh, in this situation, yeah,
yeah,
that makes sense.
yeah. You just kind of feel like you didn't
You don't belong.
you didn't earn your way there.
Oh yeah, I think that's a good point. Like you don't feel like you've earned the position of where you are, but you
Yeah.
actually do. Usually, you actually
Well,
do.
yeah. I mean, whether you actually do is kind of
Yeah.
depends.
Okay, on to the next. Do you want to do the next one?
Yeah, the next one's about setting, because No one in this conference call can set except for me. No, I'm kidding. I'm just
That's crazy. Yo, you know what? I had maybe like a singular good set today.
Your sets are good. They weren't calling doubles, so you got away with a lot.
It's a high rec.
It's a high
Yeah.
record.
You know what? If I played a setter in NCAA, I'd crush.
So this is the issue now with setting. I don't know how you can try and set a ball and not make contact with it. Like, in what situation have you ever seen
Here's-
someone try and set a ball and it
Okay.
just flies past them and they don't make contact with it?
Here's the situation. You're the designated setter, and somehow every single time you try to go set, you're in the wrong position, so you don't reach the ball.
Okay, fine. Don't reach the ball. Can we?
But like that's extremely hard to do. I think.
yeah.
That's me. I'm one.
No,
Hey,
okay.
hey, yo.
Your imposter syndrome's a little strong.
It's a little strong. The second one is good hands up, right body, not an athletic position. When they say athletic position, it just means like bend your knees, man.
Yeah.
Bend your knees. Lifting and no control. I would almost get rid of the lifting, and I would change it to like palming the ball. Like, you know, it looks like you're
Palming the
blocking
ball?
almost. Like you're blocking and then you're like slapping the ball upwards. Does that make sense?
Oh, actually, I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Slapping
It's like your
makes sense.
fingers are not like strong enough
Yeah.
to like push.
Yeah. So you slap it.
So it'll like collapse
Yeah.
under the pressure.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you mean.
That's what I
Okay.
want 2 to be. 3 is you made a triangle, hit ball off of palms and some control.
Oh, well, there's the palms.
I don't think that's developing. I think the 3 is like they're trying to do it, but the height's not there because power's yo, you guys make it look so easy when I'm telling you power is hard to generate when you're setting, okay? The height not there.
So you're saying like sets are low.
Yeah, like the sets are low, hard to hit, and there's like some control and intent behind it, but it's like it's just the height's not there, and the contact is still like very like
Yeah.
yeah.
So this is okay. Sets are low, hard to
That's
hit.
better.
Some control.
Yeah. 4 is athletic position, hands in triangle, call the ball, wait forward, good follow through and control. That's good. And then 5, I would almost say in 4, your sets could still be spiked. Like someone should be
Okay.
able to downball it. And then in 5, it's the same thing except the ball doesn't spin. Whoa, ha 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 ha. Yeah, I've been cooking on this the whole drive home. Yeah, in
And
5,
you should probably be able to set in like
and you should be
or
able to set out of
adjust.
system. Yeah.
yeah, adjust to like
And
bad
adjust. Yeah.
passes.
Oh, there's the
Sorry.
triangle.
Repeat the first one.
The first one is that the ball doesn't spin. Because I think that's a part of setting that's actually really hard to.
Not in the NCAA.
Well, are we in the NCAA? Are we in America?
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Okay. What's the next one?
And yeah, the ball doesn't spin, and then what if it's on? So you should be able to adjust to the pass. Yeah, so out of system, right? That's a good one. Yeah, I would say that's pretty much it for setting.
That's pretty good. For advanced, I think. All right. Let's.
Okay. And we can do half points like 3.5 or 4.5 or like 2.5, 2.5, 2.5.
What about 2.5? Huh?
Nothing. That's all I'm just saying. You can do half points if you want to. That's all. Next, hitting.
All right. Hitting. I'm guessing I'm doing no contact. 1 point. I feel like no contact should be 0 points, but I'm not gonna change it now. I think that's just to be nice.
Mm-hmm.
2 points. Making contact and nothing else. So you're the third contact for your team, and the ball goes over.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's okay. 3 points. Contact is made, and you're jumping, but it's not like it's not like explosive.
Yeah.
I would say. 4 points. You can make contact. There's footwork and there's an approach, but it needs improvement. I guess it's more like timing issues,
Think about like the trajectory of the ball is a good way to put it.
trajectory.
The trajectory of the ball.
Well, there's a lot of stuff that happens before the contact, right? So it's not all just on the trajectory.
Yeah. Okay.
What do you think, Hassan?
I feel like footwork needs improvement should be in developing because like
No?
if you're proficient, I don't think your footwork should need maybe like one
That's
thing, but not. I wouldn't say it needs improvement.
okay. So this doesn't have any approach. So are we saying there's already no approach here? So there's a jump, but the footwork needs improvement in developing.
Yeah, maybe. I would say like I wouldn't say one is no contact. I would say like contact is made, but like it's a free ball or it goes into the net, or it's not consistent.
I mean, I've seen people try to hit and make no contact, so I've done that myself.
Yeah, I like what Hassan said that the footwork needs improvement is 3 because if you're proficient, like you should be able to approach properly.
You should.
But the only
Yeah.
difference is
Okay.
the ball
Okay.
like doesn't go straight down or something like that.
Okay. Okay. Do you want to talk about the fifth point while I make the
Yeah.
edit?
So the last one is just basically like textbook hitter. So your footwork is correct, energy transfer from your feet to your hands. High elbow. I have shoulder problems, so I can't do that. But high elbow, twist your hips, contact at your highest point, and then if you want the top spin, you're supposed to flick your wrist. Pretty self-explanatory. And then I would also add that the trajectory should go like straight down and not in an arc.
What if you're
I
short?
think that was in there.
Say that again, sorry.
What if you're short?
I've seen short people hit the ball straight down. I've seen short women hit the ball straight down. We went over this in our last podcast.
That's fair. That's
It's
fair.
just a matter of conditioning. Because if unfortunately, if you like we said this last time, but volleyball is a game where height is incredibly important. So if
Yeah.
unfortunately you don't have the height, you have to. If you want to play at a higher level, you have to match up in like other ways, which is you have to be more athletic so you can jump higher and match up to people who are taller than you.
Okay. So you're saying that in the higher levels, it also requires like athleticism across the board to be at that level.
Yeah, you have to have some form of athleticism. Like if you don't have the stamina or the hustle or like the vertical, and you're not very tall, like you're not going to do well in higher level volleyball. It's just unfortunate. Like that's how the cookie crumbles. Yeah. I had trouble finding that phrase last time, but it's just unfortunate. But again, I've again seen women who are shorter than me. And like even on co-ed I'm pretty short, but there are women who are shorter than me that can hit a ball pretty hard and
Yeah, I've
can
seen that.
block and can keep up. But that's because they've had like years and years of conditioning and like training and they've worked for it. So I understand it. So in my opinion, I feel like there's no excuse unless you have like a crippling illness, then that's something different. But if you're just a healthy human being and you want to play higher level volleyball, it's not just about going to drop-ins. You have to go to clinics, you have to go to the gym, you have to work on your build as like your physical build.
Condition,
You have to
yeah.
condition yourself. It's unfortunate. Some people, I don't want to do it. That's why I don't play higher level volleyball. Yeah.
All right. We were reporting on hitting.
And is hitting?
Yeah.
Okay. Next, serving.
You know what? I will say, Hassan, you have gotten much better since the first time I've seen you play.
Oh
Thank
yeah.
you. I feel like you guys are like my parents and like you're grading me or something or like evaluating.
A lot of people, like, for some reason, always go up to me, Mark, and ask us how they're doing. And I'm just like, why do you care about my opinion?
You want a report card? Because now we can make one.
This is what's going on right now.
But
I'm getting
also, to be
reported.
fair, you have, like, we've both seen Hassan, like, when he first started versus now. And I agree. I think he's gotten a lot better.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think this is my favorite part of like okay, like I've been an educator for a while not in like the formal aspect, but in like I've done camps and stuff like that. And I think seeing growth in like your community is really cool. Like seeing people get better and being a part of that. I think that's
Mm-hmm.
one of my favorite parts of being in this community
Mm-hmm.
for that matter.
I agree.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's do the next one. Did I do the last one? You do this one.
So serving, no contact. That is incredibly hard to do. There's no way if you're tossing the ball to yourself that you don't contact the ball. I've never seen this happen before.
When you toss and you can't hit the ball in the air.
Yeah. Yeah. But we'll leave that. We'll put a pin in it and figure that out later. The next one is so we talked about this last time, but some people have a serving routine. I don't know if you noticed today, Hassan, but when I serve now, I spin the ball in my hand before I serve it. Do I get the ball over? Sometimes, but the routine has helped.
Do you have what's your routine for serving, or do you even have one?
I'll say yes, but I like never do it, so it's not
Oh.
really a routine. Okay, so like I'll like spin it like two or three times, and yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah, most people will spin the ball in a hand, or they'll bounce it a few times before they serve it.
I don't like
noticed-
bouncing it. I feel like it's extra.
You don't like the routine?
I don't like bounces in routines.
Oh, bounces.
Yeah,
Okay.
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 Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. As me and
I
Mark
won't
both have
get
that in
very
ours,
much.
but yeah, okay. I see how you. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
I
Like
just-
I'll. Sorry, you go.
There's some people who had like 10-second routine, and I was just like,
Oh
Um,
yeah, okay.
you're
alright,
trying to
that's
receive
fine.
that, and I'm just like, can you just serve the ball?
What do you think about like when people use because like legally like under the rules you have 8 seconds.
Yeah.
Are you a strong believer in like using those full seconds, or are you like just get it over with? Let's go.
I think like 2 to 3 seconds is fine, 4 seconds maybe, but if you're like close to that 8 seconds, you're just wasting your time.
Yeah, I think if you're serving and you're doing your routine, you see the other team is ready, but then they suddenly stand up from their ready position. That's how you know you've taken too long.
You know, in the like VNL, as soon as when the serve is given to the team, as soon as they step off the court, the timer starts.
Yeah, I
They
like
have
that.
8 seconds.
I like
But
that.
and they use the full 8 seconds.
Well, as they should, because that's professional volleyball. We are
Okay.
not professionals.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess that's a good
If
point.
it were me, like I would get annoyed. If I stand up, that's like you've taken too long.
That's fair.
Yeah. But anyways, so level 2 is no routine. You're making consistent errors, and there's little to no velocity.
Damn, that's crazy.
Why are you saying it like that?
No, it's just damn, that's crazy.
Okay.
Why I can't make a comment like that?
The
Level
shade.
3 is you do have a routine. The serve consistently goes over, but there is lack of control, and the serve clears the net.
I kind of changed the wording on this
I think
one.
you should change it a little bit, because even you don't consistently get your serves over. And you gave yourself like a 4 last time.
What is consistency though? Wait. We have
What is
consistent serve. We have a consistent serve in all the next 3. So that is one aspect of the 4 aspects that we have here.
Fine. Yeah, damn, that's crazy. Okay. Then the next one is the same thing, except there's control and it clears the net within 6 to 3 feet. So obviously the higher the serve, the easier it is to receive. So if it's a lower serve, it's obviously a lot more difficult to receive. The last one is the same thing, but it clears the net within 3 feet, and they have various types of serves. Again, went over this in the last podcast. Hassan, you can probably figure out who I'm talking about, but there's someone who comes to our runs who has a top spin, he has a float, he has a jump spin, and he has
Oh,
a
I
jump
know.
float.
I know what you're talking about.
Exactly. That's who I use as an example of like a 5, because his serves are pretty much like he can do whatever he wants with his serves.
Yeah, he has 6-point serves.
Yes, he's actually no. If it went over and in every single time, then it would be 6 points. But sometimes it goes out.
Hey, people in
Once
the
in a blue
VNL
moon.
miss their
Yeah.
serves all the time.
Fair. But that's basically what you're comparing yourself to. But everything else is pretty self-explanatory. I don't really agree with the consistently goes over, because That's just a personal comment.
Is that a shade to me? Are you throwing back shade at me?
I just don't think your serves go over as much as you think they do.
I don't think I. Okay, actually, I lie. I missed maybe like two or three.
I think
serves
if it's
today.
like, okay, also like when you're like grading yourself, we're talking about like you at a tournament, not like at a drop in, because at a tournament you're obviously more locked in, you're trying a lot harder, and you're not just like fooling around. So
I
take that,
think it.
take that,
Okay,
keep that
what
in
is
mind.
consistency? Okay, let me ask Hassan actually. What is if you serve 10 times? How many of those serves should go in to for it to be consistent?
8.
I
I
am
guess
asking
Oh.
Hassan, not you.
I guess it depends on what you're doing. If you're trying to do like a really hard serve, then it could be lower. But if you're just doing a regular, then I think like 8
Oh.
is good.
That's a good
Okay,
point.
I'm gonna go on a tangent now. What do you want more, or what do you like to see more? Do you like a nice, consistent serve, but it's easier, or do you want someone that gives a hard serve, but you don't know if it's gonna go over?
Depends on their success rate on their hard serve. If it's like 1 out of 10, then don't do it.
Fair.
But if it's like 50%, then yeah, I think that's a good chance.
Okay.
50%'s a good chance.
Yeah, but I think serve can stay as it is. I'm just
Throwing shade at me.
throwing shade. I'm just joking around. Just joke around. I think it's fine. I think what you say is fine. Okay.
Cool. That's serving. You know, my volleyball coach, when we were practicing our serves one day, I asked her like what kind of serve like she thinks that I should do, and she's like, what usually goes over, and it was the 2-hand like jump float.
Mhm.
And she's just like, yeah, just stick to it. Don't change. Don't do a standing float. Just do what is good and what goes over. It's really bad when she's like, um, just get it over.
Yeah.
Then I'm like crumbling in my own head, and I'm like, I'm not gonna get it over. And then I hit the net, and then she looks at me with like the devil eyes, and she's like, I'm gonna.
That's how I feel every time you guys are like power. Like, where am I gonna generate this power from?
What, when you set?
Yeah. No, when I serve.
Oh,
You guys are like more power. I'm like, girl, from where?
you gotta like channel your anger
Sure.
and put it into the ball.
Okay.
You're really mad.
Anyways, next. We're on defense and serve receive.
Okay. So defense and serve receive. So defense has to do with when you are like receiving the ball when they're attacking. So I think this should also cover um like tips and stuff like that, and like being in your correct position. And then serve receive, that's separate because it's technically attacking, but that is obviously on the serve. So, and then each one has the like a 0 option, 1 option, 2 option, 3 option. Do you know what that means, Hassan? I think you do.
Yep.
Okay, perfect. So we're not gonna go over that. We've already gone over it. Number 1, no contact. That's actually very easy to do.
That's very easy to do.
I've seen that happen a lot.
It happens, yeah. It happens quite a bit. Okay, and then 2 points is being off balance, so you're kind of like moving to your position and you're not ready, and you have trouble passing. You don't really get low. You're kind of like standing around. You're walking to your positions, and you might be able to get the ball up, but there's no options. It's playable, but it like not with an attack on the 3rd touch.
Basically, it has to be a free ball, I fear.
Yeah, yeah. You can get to the ball essentially in 2 points. So 3 points. You're a little bit more ready. You're forward, but you can lose balance easily based on like. I'd say if you're like digging, like you'll get off balance pretty easily. And you can pass it high enough where there's an option, which is usually going to be power. And it's still playable. I guess the 2 points should have playable as well. Okay. the 4 points. Your arms are out, palms are up. You're in your athletic position when you're defending. Your weight's forward on your toes. But sometimes you'll finish out of balance, so you're not transferring the energy into the ball, or you're not absorbing the energy from the ball, and you're kind of not ready to receive it properly, and your passes are at a 2. I would say like a 2.5 consistency would be like a, I don't know. And then the last one, 5 points, palms up, athletic position. Your weight's forward and your body's low and you're always ready. And you get the contact, and your serve receive is almost all the time 3 option passes. You're always in your positions defensively. Um, I don't think there's anything else to add. What do you guys think?
Yeah. It's
It's good,
pretty
comprehensive.
self-explanatory.
Yeah.
Passing is very cut and dry. Yeah. Okay.
But the hardest thing to do.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I
Probably the most
agree.
valuable skill in volleyball, and it's pretty hard to do, and people don't focus enough on it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Damn, shade to the community.
That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. I'm gonna let you go over blocking because I'll go over the last two because I'm not that good at blocking.
Okay, sure. Actually, I'm gonna change that. I might go over this again and check it. So you want me to go over blocking? Okay, blocking. No contact on the block, or no blocking. I wouldn't even say no contact. Like, you don't even
I don't
bother to
even have
block.
contact because I'm so short.
Hey, you're trying.
Or you touch the net consistently.
Oh, that's another one too.
That's a good
Oh,
one.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
Or you cross the line. Like you
That's a
land on
good
like
one.
Yeah,
the
I
other
feel like we
side.
should include those. Those are actually really important. Wait, okay, for the first one, what did we say the first one is? My memories.
So you said
Trash.
the first one was no knowledge. Or you said no contact. No contact's a very vague way of saying it because a lot of people try and block and they have the knowledge but they don't make contact.
Do you mind editing it? So, okay, on no contact, um, instead of no contact, we're gonna say no blocking.
Yeah.
How did Hassan say? He said like not no blocking. He touches the net. Not he.
No
Not
blocking
Hassan, but like
consistently.
touches the net consistently, cross the center line
Okay.
consistently.
So okay, so touching the net and crossing the center line, I feel like should be on the first one.
Yeah.
Not the first one. The 2.1.
No, I think the first one. Sorry,
If
yeah,
you're
the 2.1.
consistently
the
doing
2.1,
this
the
stuff,
2.1.
then I think it's a 1.
Yeah.
So consistently crossing the line, midline, and what else? Touching the net. Okay, yeah, that makes sense. Cool. All right, and then 2 points. Struggling with the concept, so you get the idea, but you're struggling with it. Do you? It's an interesting way to put it, but that's
Does
I
that
just
The
make
best
got it.
way
sense?
to yeah.
I'm struggling with the concept of this sentence.
That's a real thing though, struggling with like the whole like how do I time my block properly and stuff like that. It's like you're trying to apply presence but you're not connecting or you're not really there.
You're not understanding. Okay, yeah. So lack of timing, and you're not in the correct position.
Mhm.
I have seen blocks where they're like way off. Like there's no purpose
I
to
call
it.
it the Bluetooth block.
Ah, that's funny. Okay, 3 points. So you get the concept, but you're struggling with the footwork. You are kind of getting ready. You're starting low, and you're trying to press over the net. But you don't close a block and you don't communicate your blocks.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
My biggest pet peeve, I went over. It's not my biggest pet peeve. My biggest pet peeve is people who want to hit but don't want to pass. I like people who try and block because yes, you're putting in the effort. Don't be like, yeah, I'll block cross and then block line. don't do that, man. Like it like hurts me because it's like, okay, if I'm expecting you to block cross, then we're gonna obviously apply more coverage on the line and tips. But then if you block line, then it's like it just completely eliminates one person out of the equation, and then we have one less person to receive.
Yeah, I think communications is really important.
I don't know if you can hear the pain in my voice.
Or not calling touch if they.
Oh yeah, not
Oh,
calling
touch
touch.
it.
There's
That's a
obviously
good.
touch. Mm.
That's a good point. Okay, 4 points. So you got your footwork, good footwork. You're starting low, you're pressing above the net, or you're attempting to press over the net. You can perform most blocking techniques. So there's a few, but you're always a presence if you need to be.
Yeah.
I'll just stare at them and make myself know.
I guess that is a presence. Okay, and then the last one is proper footwork, starting low, penetrates the net. Penetrates above the net. Not sticking your hands through the net. You can perform basically all the blocking techniques, your swing blocks, your what do you call it, your crossover. You're closing the block and you communicate.
I think the one thing I would add for that is you should be able to adapt to the hitter as well.
Okay.
I think that's a good one. We had a lot of trouble against Hassan's team during one of the tournaments we played against them because one of their middles was hitting deep corners. You know who they are, Hassan.
Yeah.
Okay, you probably don't know this, but we were talking about how to deal with it because he was hitting it so fast. There's no way, like if he hits it on an open net, there's no way we're picking it up. But if we also wide block him, then it's like we're probably gonna get tooled. So it's a matter of like we were trying to figure out how to get around that, and I think a good blocker should know how.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Well, there's a specific role for that. It's called middle blocker. I hate that position.
But yeah, that's. I think
Okay.
that's very important. Yeah.
So, blocking.
Okay, while we're doing that one, we're gonna go over the last two. So the first one is volleyball IQ. This is just basically like knowledge. The first one is just no communication or knowledge. These are just people who are just learning the sport and want to get the technique down, and they just want to get their touches in. The second one is no knowledge of systems, little or no communication, doesn't know positions or responsibilities, and no awareness. This is like beginner rec volleyball. You probably have seen it in your time as well. But it's just like everyone is standing there in their positions, and then they're just kind of grabbing the ball wherever it comes. There's no, designated set or nothing like that. The third one is some knowledge of volleyball systems. Communicates issues with the team. That's very important. Not a lot of people in drop-ins communicate very much. So I really like that you put that point in.
But again, that's like kind of you're just there for silly, goofy volleyball. I mean, if it's more competitive, obviously you're gonna try to like communicate with your team, like, oh, we gotta deal with the blocker, the attacker,
Yeah.
cover more or whatever.
Yeah. And then the next one is understanding like some positions and responsibilities. So you're learning like middle set. You're learning, what 4-2. That's front row setter, right?
Yes.
Yeah. And only aware of the side the ball is on. That's a good one. Number 4 is knows most volleyball systems and communicates strategies and works with teams, understands their position and responsibility, and has some court awareness. The last one is just basically like, this is what I would put all high intermediate players in, is that you know how to play every single volleyball system. You understand all the positions, not just your own. And you also pretty much have like mastered court awareness, so you're not just aware of the side the ball is on, but you're also looking at the other side or your own team if the ball is on the attacker side to try and like find the holes in your defense and stuff like that, and you're trying to adapt to it. That's what I think like being fully court aware is. Now that you've added that in, I actually don't even think I'm a 5 anymore. I put myself as a 5 last week, but like after this, it's like I don't even think I'm a 5 because I haven't completely figured out my court vision.
Okay.
Yeah, but I like that you added that stuff in. Yeah.
Thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna do that. The last.
Actually, might have trouble like putting in the volleyball because I don't actually. I've never played on a competitive team with Hassan, so I don't know like what kind of things that he can come up with.
Yeah. I would
You know
just
what I
go off
mean?
of what I've seen because we've watched him
I
play. Do you
guess.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I've watched him play.
I'm
Uh,
gonna I'm gonna
Try your
I'm
best.
gonna tentatively put a score down.
Okay. The
Last
last
one.
one is mentality. We
Sorry, I
added
didn't
this one
add
in.
this
This one was not in the original
to.
rubric, but this one I think is also very important. So, one is no encouragement, gets frustrated in teammates easily, and there's no communication. Basically, not a team player. Level two is some encouragement, some teamwork, gets frustrated sometimes, but still no communication. Next one up is there's some encouragement. You work with a team, does not put blame on others, but only communicates during like play. The next one is always encouraging, works with the team, doesn't put blame, and oh, so the difference is just you're always encouraging your teammates, or compared to sometimes. The last one is the exact same thing, except you communicate between your teammates in between plays. So this is just like mentality. Like I think mental we talked about this before too, but I think mental is so extremely important, especially in tournaments, because once your team's like mentality is just like done, like you've pretty much already lost. So I think that this is very important, especially if you're the team captain. So
Yeah, I added so what I meant about promoting communication between teammates is also like telling your teammates like we gotta talk, or because once one person starts like a line of communication that usually promotes like other people on the team to talk a little more, um, and I think that also comes with like when you're in your timeout or you're in between sets, you're talking amongst your teammates, or you're asking them like, oh, what can we improve? What can we do better? What are we missing? Where are our strengths? What can we do to get on top?
mm-hmm.
And that's what I meant. So
Yeah, but that's pretty much it. I don't think that really needs any change or anything like that. But we're gonna go over the totals now, okay?
okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna go through every single one. You're gonna state what you feel like you are rated at. And then beside it, I also included kind of consistency. So I'm also gonna check out like if they were consistent between
Mm-hmm.
ours. Jess is gonna check it. So
Okay.
um underhand passing, we're gonna start at the top. What do you feel like you rated yourself as?
How about you guys go first? Oh, I'm feeling I'm gonna be like so off, but okay. I'll
No,
go
no,
first.
no,
No,
no.
no.
And okay, so say your rating, and then you can give yourself like why you thought
Yeah.
you were at that level.
Okay, I gave myself a 4.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think, yeah, I guess like this is I'm assuming more for like free balls because there's like a separate one for serve receive, but
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
yeah, I can mess up the free ball sometimes, I think,
Yeah.
and just getting it more like directly to target
Mm-hmm.
is why I'm not at the 5.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
I gave you a 4.
I gave you a 4.
Yeah. I think the
Okay,
So
good.
it's
only
consistent.
thing missing is height. I'm just going off of what we saw because you were playing Lib at the last tournament that we saw you at, and
Yeah.
going off of that, I think the only thing you were missing is height and sometimes placement. But otherwise, like you get it up, which is fine, or you make it easy for your setter to get to it. So that's all they can really ask for.
What
Yeah.
are your thoughts,
See,
Mark?
me? Why specifically me?
Well, because she just went.
Oh yeah. I think you're pretty much at it for it. Like you are. I think because you're also working on like being a consistent libero. You're also working on like making your passes as consistent as possible. And you're always trying to get behind the ball and attacking it. Um, in terms of like an underhand pass.
Mhm.
So I would agree with the height. I think you do. I think it also depends on like the gym that you're playing in. But because we play in Mississauga a lot, it's a little harder. I think you with like higher ceilings, you'd probably do better because you then have the freedom to pass as high as you want.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Um, but I think a 4 is a good level. But I think you're on your way
Okay.
to a 5. You're getting
Setting. What did you give yourself for setting, Hassan?
I was like in between like a 3.5 and a 4.
Yeah. Why?
I did give myself a 4, but I was like, should I reduce it? I think
there.
yeah, there are like out of system, of course, like it's harder to do to consistently set the hitters, and I can like sometimes I won't push it far enough for like small things like that, like kind of like inconsistencies. But I think for the most part, I can set most positions.
Yeah. What did you give him, Mark?
So I gave him a 4
Mm-hmm.
because I don't know, from my perspective. Again, I'm not like amazing,
Mm-hmm.
but I think he sets well enough where like people can still connect.
Yeah.
So that's why I gave him a 4.
I gave him a 3.5.
Damn, the setter
Well,
just being
I had to do
being
it to you.
harsh.
So, this is my take. I think that you don't play setter enough to be able to work on your consistency.
Yeah.
So I think that's probably the reason why you haven't really gotten to the 4. Your out of system needs work. I think even as a libero, you could probably work on that. And the placement is not very consistent. So if it's not consistent, your hitters don't really know exactly where to aim for. Mine are consistent, like my power sets are consistently inside, so at least the hitters know that they're going to be going inside of the pin to hit. That's not a good thing. But what is the last thing? Oh, you double the ball a lot more than I thought you would.
Damn.
I don't know why. I didn't expect that
guess.
from you. I
I
thought,
don't have
yeah.
like a lot of spin. I think it's never like
There's
as
spin, but not a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like when you double the ball, it's like, wow, that was a double. But I think you know yourself well enough to know where your setting needs work. But it's mostly placement, I think, and consistency and out of system. But that's why I gave you a 3.5.
Yeah, I do like setting, but you know, our team, the team that I play with,
Yeah. You
has a
beat 'em.
setter, and
Mhm.
kind of like he kind of just defaults to that. So I don't set. That's why.
okay.
But
Yeah.
like when I do drop ins and stuff, there's always like a shortage of setters.
Oh,
So
good. So you get your reps in,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
Yeah. I like
At
that.
least you're gonna get practice. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
that's good.
Yeah.
Next.
Okay, hitting.
um, okay, I'm like
Why are you laughing?
sometimes I just do the dumbest hits. I mean, I guess we kind of all do that, but
He knows.
sometimes I'll just miss the ball. It's like 1 in like 50, but still, sometimes I will do that. So I give myself a 4 still, but I don't think it's.
Damn.
If I was like a lot more consistent, I would give it like 4.5 or 5.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
But I think yeah, I can adjust to most sets and like get the ball over in a
Oh, good.
relatively fast hit.
Okay.
Okay. I gave you a 3.
Oh my god.
So looking back on it now, I think according to the rubric, you are not a 3. It's more the only thing that's wrong with your hit is the consistency, because it's
Yeah.
like a 50-50. Either it'll go in and it's a really good hit, or it's going out of the court, out of the gym, into the car, like
Into the car.
but also I think it's just because you don't hit as much as you are used to. Like, you just don't get your reps in, because all I've ever really seen you do is either play lib or set. I've never really seen you play like a hitter position, so that's just hard for me to place my judgment on. But I remember, like, way back in the day, you sent me some videos of you hitting, and I remember telling you, yo man, your approach is a little funky. And you were like,
I
yeah.
remember that.
But
You were like, "Oh, your approach is weird, but I don't know how you hit hit it that hard with that approach or
Exactly.
something like
I'm
that.
surprised you haven't busted out your shoulder yet.
Sometimes it's close.
Yeah, but I just gave you a 3. I don't think it is a 3 now. I'm looking at the rubric. I'm like, okay, you know what? You do approach it, you do jump. It's just the ball just goes out so much, and I'm just like, ooh, like I
feel like
just
you
wanted to
haven't
go in.
watched me play enough
Yeah,
of my
so
hits.
let me change. I'll change it to a 3.5, just because like your footwork and like technique is there, but it's just like the ball just goes out, and I'm just like, man, Hassan, like I know you're better than this, so that's why I gave you a 3 or 3.5.
Don't worry, I'll send you some clips after this.
Ah,
prove you
okay, all
wrong.
right, bet.
You needs to justify it. Okay, I gave you a 3.5.
Damn.
I would say I think because you're trying to like be more dedicated to like libbing, and I guess it's like setting. Like obviously you're not gonna get a lot of hits in, but I think if you kept on working on your hitting, or you were to work on like a different position that was more primarily for attacking, then I think it would probably move up like relatively fast. Like even within like 2 weeks, I would say you can probably do that. Because I do remember when we were doing clinics, when I was coaching those, um, yeah, your approach was so funky. I was like, yo, I know you can fix this. If you fix this, like I think your hits will be better. You fixed your approach. I would
Yeah.
say, like confidently, like at the beginning of the year, or even like a couple months before that, I would say you would probably be at like a 3, but you're close to 4.
Yeah, I'm just like based on the rubric, I feel like okay, 3 is like no approach but jumps. I feel like that might need a bit of work then.
Yeah, I think yeah, it's not you, it's the rubric.
Yeah, okay. Based on the rubric, I think it'd be a 4, but yeah.
Yeah, that's
I know
fair.
it's
Yeah, no, you're right. You're
consistency
right.
is a big thing, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. I guess there's some like nuance in there. So, okay, we're moving on to the next one, serving.
What did you give yourself, Hassan?
If I focus and like
Yeah, like you're
do
at
my
your best, you're at
routine,
your peak.
I think 3.5 because I'm still pretty inconsistent.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, sometimes I try new things and it doesn't work. So I guess okay, if I do my normal serve, I think I'm a 4.
Yeah, like if you're at a tournament and you're like, you need to get the ball over, or you need to convert this to a point.
Yeah, okay, I would say it's a 4 then. But I guess in a in hierarchy and stuff, I'll just be doing stuff. So
Okay, yeah.
So
What'd you give
so
him?
4, I guess. Okay, let me say 4.
I gave him a 3.5. I'm his biggest hater. No,
You're so harsh.
I'm
You're
extremely harsh. I gave you a 3.5 because the height is your serves are actually quite high. They don't like they clip the net once in a while, but overall from what I remember, they're relatively easy to receive because they go quite high above the net. Like they clear the net by like a good amount.
Yeah,
I'm also
that's me
pretty
when I
sure.
like don't do my
Yeah.
routine and just kind of just hit it.
Mhm. And I think the only other thing is I've never seen you do a top spin. That's all.
I cannot.
Yeah, but I think
I
just
just
because of the height, otherwise, like I think your serves are fine. So
yeah, topspin is so hard for me to do. I don't know. I just can't flick like that.
yeah, me neither, bro. I don't know
Like-
how mine spins like the way it does, but that's all. Just the height.
I have a backspin sometimes.
Oh yeah.
What?
How do you do that?
That's so bad. Well, it just limp wrist. Well, not super limp, of course.
The limp wrist strat. That's funny.
I like that.
You
What
can't-
did you give him, Mark?
Okay. I think I don't know how accurate this is, but I gave him a 4.5.
Oh.
Whoa, that is way too high.
I think the reason why is because when I see you like really hone in and focus, you try. I don't know if you actually do this, but it seems like you try to aim it.
I
Is
do.
that true?
I like look at gaps or like weak receivers.
Yeah. So even if you're able to, like, I know that you're able to get the ball over, I know that you're able to aim. So I feel like, and it can be hard if you really try. So like, if you're at your peak and you're at your best and you're playing in a tournament, everything is like competitive, then I think you could be maybe not a 4.5, maybe like a 4.
Yeah,
How about that? Are you okay with
that
that?
seems right. That seems right. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't have to be okay with it. It's your rating.
That is true.
Yeah, you're right.
That is true.
Yeah.
That is true. Okay.
I'll stick to it.
Defense. Defense.
I mean, since we've been saying live so much, I feel like I need to give myself like a 4.5. But
Well,
why are
here
you
comes
saying it
the
like
but.
that? Why are you saying it like that?
But what's the but?
But yeah, you said the
The
but.
but is like I feel like you guys are gonna give it like a 3.5
Well, okay. So you gave yourself a 4.5 because
based on the rubric. I feel like I can, I fit all of the criteria of the 5 except like consistently 3 options. Like obviously, like I have sometimes where it's 2 or 2.5,
mm,
sometimes 1, but I think yeah, for the most part, it's like 2s or 2.5s.
yeah. Okay. What about you, Mark?
I gave you a 4.
Yeah.
I think okay, I think as a lib, you are the last resort for covering. Um, I think what I notice is a lot of walking. Like I'll see you like just like chill like over to your position, and I'm like wouldn't a lib like either crab walk or like run over to their
Grab
position?
walk.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine imagine like those TV show crab walks.
Yeah, like yeah, kind of. But I think I gave you a 4 because you're like, I think it's a consistency thing. And then if you were to be at a 5 or a 4.5, you would, okay, a 4.5 I would say you would be receiving digs, like you would get good touches. If you're at a 5, like you'd be catching all of these hard hits.
Yeah,
You
I
know what
do
I mean?
get digs. I think it's more
I
so in
think
the
you
higher
do get digs.
intermediates,
I
whereas
mean,
like higher X, people are just hitting everywhere. You can't really predict stuff.
yeah, that's also true. That's also true. And I think that's also like another like volleyball IQ thing too. So yeah, that's my kind of breakdown. What's next?
Well, I gave him a 3.5.
Yeah, you are actually a
Damn.
hater.
I'm so harsh. I think if you're going to train or focus on becoming a lib, um, I think consistency is definitely something you should work on.
Is,
Your
is this
passing,
because because I shanked your serve or something like that
yo,
one serve in that tournament?
I think you also shanked one of Mark's serves, and then sometimes when the pass was out of system or it was a hard pass and you had to go fix it, I think knowing you could have fixed it better, but maybe it was just you panicked or something like that. But I gave you a 3.5 because I think as a lib, if I see a ball go out of system and you're chasing after it and it looks like you can get it, I'm like, this guy's gonna either turn this into a hit or he's gonna make it into like a down ball or something like that. But usually you turned it into like a free ball or something like that. So I think maybe I'm just a little harsh with my grading.
Maybe.
She's the teacher that everyone hates.
Yeah, I'm a little harsh, but I think it's only a 3.5 because one, you shanked my serve. That's embarrassing enough as it is because it's me.
It's actually always the slow serves that get me because I'm like
Yeah.
I just have to think about it.
I get
Like,
it.
I'm like it's coming to me. I have to do this, and then it's
I
it's the
get
wrong
it.
part of my arm, and
Yeah, I get it. But also I think that I just really want to see Hassan like play again in a tournament because I feel like I just don't have enough data to properly analyze him.
Yeah, I think that's another thing
Yeah.
because it's. I mean, don't take these ratings personally. Again, we're trying to smooth it out, figure it out. So I mean, I gave you a 4. Mm.
I'm gonna prove you guys wrong.
You know what?
As you
I
should.
honestly hope you do.
Yeah, as you should. Okay, we're on blocking next.
Oh my god, this is like a 3.5 because sometimes I just get lazy and don't jump.
Oh, fine.
Ah,
Fine.
feel that.
I gave him
Like
a
I
4.
can get up there,
Yeah.
I can press, I can close the block, but I just like sometimes like I'm like a little late and I'm just like, you know what? I'll just like move back and maybe receive it or something.
Okay,
Yeah.
well, laziness isn't included into this. So, if you were in a tournament, like
Mm-hmm.
even in a tournament situation, I don't think you would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, no, in a tournament I probably would be like
Yeah, so you're fine.
blocking everything I could. Yeah, okay.
I gave you a 4. I think the only thing you're missing is just you have you just need to read your blockers, not your blockers, the hitters a little better. But other than
Yeah.
that, like you're fine. I've seen you block before. He's a pretty good blocker.
Yeah, he's blocked me.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah,
Never
I
gonna forget.
remember you blocked me, and your team was so loud. I'm like, why does everybody hate me?
It's because you're like
Wow.
the tsunami guy. I
The
have to block you.
tsunami. That's funny.
What did you give him?
I gave him a 4.
Good.
Yeah, because he's blocked me. I've seen him block other people
Mhm.
too, so I don't
When he
feel like there's.
tries, it's there.
Yeah, when I
Yeah.
try I'm a 4. Otherwise, like I'm just like, you can hit it. You're good.
You're good. You're chilling.
I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for
Oh
you.
my gosh. Okay. The next one is volleyball IQ. What did you give yourself for that one, Hassan?
This is where it gets way more like subjective and fake. But I think 4 or 4.5. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
because I know all the positions. I literally play all the positions like drop-ins,
Yeah.
and like I can predict hits and kind of like
Yeah.
react to like people's like tips or like kind of read them before the hit too.
Yeah. I give you a 4 in that. I think you've played enough volleyball to kind of know who goes where and all that kind of whatnot. So I don't think you have a problem in that. I think I don't really. I'm trying to think of like where you're lacking in court awareness. I think maybe just I don't really know how to explain it. Just court IQ. Like that's all I can really just say is just be more
Court awareness or what do you mean
aware.
court IQ? What is that?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe when you're playing and you have options, maybe go with the best option. Because you
What does
used
it mean?
to have this little thing where you would try to do what looks the coolest, but not what's most practical.
I still do that in like
Yeah.
drop-ins. And
But-
I'm clip farming. I'm clip farming.
Ah, true.
Clip
Okay, fine,
farming.
acceptable. Maybe just that. Just thinking about what's more practical or what's gonna get you the point over
Yeah.
what's gonna look cool. But other than that, like he knows his positions. He knows how to play every position on the court.
Yeah.
So
I gave him a 4. I gave you a 4.
Yeah?
Yeah. I think based on the rubric, you pretty much got. It's just like when you're playing. So for example, like your tournament team, like who's like the in-game leader?
Or what? Like, I guess it depends.
Like, is there somebody who's like leading the conversation in terms of like what you guys are or what your weaknesses are and what your strengths are, what you guys need to do more of?
We do like a huddle where like we each like, well, not each, but like if someone has something to say, they'll say it. But I think for like defensive leadership, it's usually gonna be me, just being the lib, and also even if I'm not libbing, just I'll call stuff like free ball and get off the net kind of thing. That helps.
Okay. Yeah. Fair enough.
Because they don't communicate. Oh, some of them do, some of them don't. But I've been trying to get them to like talk way more.
Okay. Nice. Well, I think in like if you were like a 5, you would probably be able to like see everything and create strategies. Excuse the dog.
Yeah, I think
Uh,
seeing the other side is where it might not like. That's why I'm not a 5. Just kind of assessing the opponent's.
yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay, last one. Mentality. What do you feel like you're at?
There's a part of this that I guess we might have missed, which is like not letting other people put you down,
That's a good point. Yeah.
which I just thought of because that's like for me that's my biggest thing. It's like I get in my head, so I'm like, and if people are like negative around me, I'd let that get to my head. So if we include that, I think I'm lower than what I put. Like I put myself as a 4 because I would say I'm a pretty good teammate. Like I'll say, nice hit, and I don't blame people. I'll say like nice try even if they hit it out into the car.
Oh, yeah. Fair. I,
But yeah,
okay.
I think if we include that part where it's like kind of like letting other people affect you, then I'll probably be lower, like a 3.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay. So you gave yourself a 4, is what you're saying?
yeah, I did based
Okay,
on the
4.
rubric.
Okay, based on the rubric. Yeah. So I think there's something to be said about the um uh make. I get, but that would kind of get into like encouraging, right?
Yep.
Like you're encouraging your teammates and you're not letting them get get down.
No, but
Is
like
that
some people are just kind of negative people. So even if you're encouraging your teammates, there might be other teammates might not be encouraging you or even saying like what was that hit or whatever, something like that.
also not letting them get to you?
Yeah, not letting them get to you. So if like a weak mental,
Okay.
where
Okay.
like I have like a bit of a weak mental, I think. Just being, just
Uh,
being an empath.
being an empath.
Yeah. So if
I
like we
okay.
include that, I think it goes lower.
Okay, that's fair. I think mentality is a one way in what I think, cuz hmm, like I guess you are right in terms of like you're, even though you're in control of yourself, like other people can affect how you are when you're playing. So that is a good point, I feel like, to make. I gave you a 5. I think it's always good vibes when I play with you, in my opinion.
Yay.
Uh yeah, I don't know. I don't really have like too many complaints when I play with you, and it seems like there's communication there when you're always like encouraging,
Jess is
always
gonna say
joking
like a
around.
1 because I didn't set her.
Yo, that was crazy. I'm glad you farmed that clip because I was like, I'm gonna milk the. I'm kidding. I gave you a 5. Yeah, I've only ever seen you like be nice. I've never seen you be BM or anything like that. I've never seen you get angry over anything in, like volleyball. Even at tournaments, like you're a pretty good sport about everything. Um, yeah, just a really good player to have around. Like I'm always happy to play volleyball with you, so I have no complaints. I gave you a 5. Today you were a
Yay.
1 though for not setting me up. I'm kidding.
I did say I gave you
He
a
did. He
6
did. He
set.
did set me. So yeah, I don't. There are certain people that I would say have, what you would call a weak mental, but they really like let it show through their body language or through their actions or just like their facial expressions. I don't think you have that. If you ever, are in a position where you feel like your mental's not doing the greatest, like I wouldn't even be able to tell.
Yeah, I do hide it. I just like kind of like if anything you might see me being silent,
Yeah.
but I don't like I'm not gonna get angry.
Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not that serious.
You've been chilling. Like I was always. I have never had complaints about you. So yeah.
Yeah.
Or now.
Okay. For now. Okay, so tally up your scores. It should already be tallied up. I'm not sure. What did you get in total?
Okay, wait, I have to do it mentally because I am on view only, so I can't.
Oh, my bad. Sorry, that's my fault. Um, what was your total,
I got 31 out of
Jess?
40 is what I gave him.
31 out of 40. Did we write down somewhere like what we thought each level was, or no?
Hmm?
Like what we thought, like in terms of rating. Well, okay. Well, things have changed now,
Things have changed.
so
So it's out of 40 now instead of 35.
right.
That's a big part of it, which means so last podcast we went over like what constitutes a high intermediate player versus like an intermediate versus rec. We went over kind of like what numbers are within like these ranges. We're probably gonna have to go over it again. We'll probably talk about it next week a little bit more because unfortunately we just didn't really have too much time to revamp the rubric. But I think 31 out of 40 is pretty accurate. I think in a tournament like Hassan's probably a lot better at some of these things, but this is just based on what I've seen overall out of him. When I think he's taking the game seriously. So I think like baseline, like I think Hassan's a pretty just like well-rounded player. I don't think he's advanced. Sorry.
I don't claim to be
Yeah,
advanced.
I don't think he's advanced.
I don't even want to go to advanced javelin. I'm gonna get banned. I'm gonna get banned.
Well, you've been playing in our high intermediate runs, and no one's ever said anything about you. I heard you've been keeping up. You've been playing the game and supporting your team. So there's nothing wrong with that. Like I think you're just overall like a good player. I think you're better than me.
Oh, yo, that's huge. Yo,
That's
Whoa,
a collector's item
gotta-
right there. Not many
Revelation
people
right
get
there.
that.
Revelation.
Yeah, like I think
ride that high for the next month.
we went over this last week, but I've said this like time and time again. Like I am your average intermediate player. Like I am like as average as it gets. So I think anything better than me is like you're probably leaning towards high intermediate. Anything lower than me is you're probably high rec or rec.
What do you have to say about that, Hassan? That huge compliment.
Your jaw on the floor. No, I'm kidding.
I am honored. I
He's
was
honored.
This has been the highlight of my volleyball
Oh my
career.
god, relax. It's just me. It's
This
just
is what
me.
I was working towards with all these clinics,
Oh
clinics
my
and
goodness. I think when you first started playing volleyball, you definitely like not no offense, like you definitely were not as good as me, but you've surpassed me, I think, in skill for sure.
yeah, I remember I like went to a rec game and I was like scared. I was like going to high rec. I was like, what if I get banned? This was back in August and like
Yeah.
September, but
No, you've progressed. Yeah, you've put in the work. I think you deserve like a little pat on the back. I think you definitely put in the work. I think you've, improved a lot as a player overall. So I don't think you're as good as Mark. I don't think anyone's as good as Mark. My
What?
envision of Mark is extremely inflated, but
I think there's plenty of people who are better than
Mark
me.
is
but-
like my golden standard right now.
oh my goodness. I don't even think I'm that good.
Yeah.
favoritism.
Yeah.
What did you get for your total, Mark?
I got 30. What is it? Out of 45, right?
40.
40. Sorry. Okay, 33 out of 40.
Oh yeah.
I think that's pretty good.
Pretty good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Like
got-
for. Sorry, what were you gonna say?
33.5, very close.
Yeah. Yeah. So relatively accurate. Pretty okay. Like in terms of like objectively or quantifiably, I think that range or the difference between your self-report and ours, maybe not Jess's, but my report is pretty similar to yours, which is good. I think you have a good. Do you feel like you have a good grip on like after even seeing this? Like, do you feel like you were right in terms of like how you view yourself as a volleyball player, or do you feel like there's certain things that you didn't realize that you need to work on and stuff like that?
Think yeah, consistency for sure. Like that came up so many times. Just like getting reps in. Like I
Fair.
kind of just like you do so many drop-in games, but it's not like that is reps, but it's not like in a row just do digs and do hits and all that
Mhm.
stuff. But I think I was pretty accurate. Like I know I do put myself down a bit, but if it comes down to it, like I can be pretty objective.
Yeah.
Good.
Good.
Yeah, good. I think that's also something that comes from like being in the like psychology kind of field,
Yeah.
like you learn to be, or you learn how to be objective. So I think that also does help to kind of bring it back to like your education, I guess. Um, so okay, I think this is my last question. Where do you feel like you're gonna, or do you feel like this has given you insight on what you're going to be working on in the next few weeks or next few months, or like what your goals are going to be in terms of being a volleyball player?
Yeah, I mean the numbers are pretty consistent. So like there's no like one area that really need to work on, I think. Maybe like just more consistent hitting and serving. But yeah, I mean just kind of keep going to clinics, keep going to these training sessions, and it seems like it's working. So
Nice.
Nice.
That's good.
Yeah.
Good to hear.
But that was pretty much the exercise for our podcast today. I'm glad it worked out. We're pretty consistent.
Pretty. Yeah.
I
do
like
you-
this. Yeah, we're gonna streamline it. We're gonna find a solution
think-
to this whole rating issue going on right now with these
We're
volleyball
gonna-
runs, the skill disparity issue. But that was pretty much it. Thank you so much, Hassan, for giving us the time of day to kind of
time of night.
time of night. Yes. Oh my
Oh, yeah.
goodness. Yeah.
Technically time of morning, but
Time of morning. It's almost the morning, but yeah, thanks so much for taking the time to sit here with us and go through this together. That was really fun, and thanks for being our first official guest on this podcast. I wish I had a
I am
soundboard
honored.
so I can play the applause.
Oh, we do though.
Yeah, but are you planning? Oh wow,
Oh, there you go.
look at that!
Nice.
Did you sign up for our intermediate tournament coming up in April?
I am assembling a team,
Oh, heck
nice.
yeah! Okay, good.
or
good.
trying to at least. But I should be able to get enough people.
Oh, good. I'm excited. That's going to be a fun tournament. But we hope to see
Yeah.
you there, and we're going to see you at the next drop-in coming up anyways. So that's pretty much it. We'll see everyone next week.
Wait, what's happening next week?
What is happening next week?
The tournament that we're doing.
This doesn't apply to Hassan. He's not a woman.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, fair. But just to tell everybody else.
We're doing a women's tournament next week with one of our friends over at TVC. We still have spots left, but you're not a woman, so unfortunately I can't, force you to
Offer you a
register at
spot.
gunpoint or something like that.
But if you know of any women who would like to join a high intermediate tournament, there's spots.
Yeah. But other
I
than
wish
that,
I knew high intermediate women because I need them for my tournament teams.
fair and valid. But we'll see you in our April tournament, so that'll be exciting, and we'll probably continue to see you at our drop-in. So yeah, thanks again, Hassan.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.